Welcome back, everyone, to Kicking It with Gavin Church.
Another exciting episode. Chooch messed up right there. I don't know what's going on. He's feeling under the weather. He forgot the exciting part. He must not be that excited today. Anyways, welcome back. Yes, once again.
A joyful episode.
Yeah, a joyful episode. I guess that's new. Chooch's new headline. But definitely, we're going to get into it again. Barclays man of the podcast. Chooch's turn to decide, and he picked a good one. We're going to go over our banger of the week, recap the Premier League, and then we got a couple Carabao Cup games to kind of preview for you a little bit. Not really any major matchups, but some Prem teams in there for sure. We have... Let's see. Moving into our banger of the week, Chooch's banger of the week. Who do you got?
There were some good goals. Definitely the Calafiori goal. Just the way it looked like a finesse shot from the other way, and it just
snuck its
pass.
He tried to cross it.
Relax.
That's right. It was still a nice goal. Still a nice
goal. Darwin Nunez goal was pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously the Welbeck goal. Free kick, absolutely had to keep flat-footed.
Definitely. That was mine, the Danny Welbeck free kick versus Nottingham Forest, right at the half. Really good for me. I really like the way Danny Welbeck has been kind of leading the team for Brighton so far. I think Micah Richards this weekend, too, was praising him. Roy Keane thought it was really, really good praises as well. But definitely, he's done a lot for the team so far. Brilliant free kick. Calafiori's definitely what caught us off guard and was a banger, but looked like a cross to me for sure. But he'll never admit, I'm sure, ran over to Arteta, Phil Foden style, and there we go. We'll get into that game a little bit later. But Chooch's Barclays man of the pod, take it away.
The one, the only. Everyone hated him, especially if he wasn't on your team. Diego Costa, that dude was the epitome of a Barclays man. Just the absolute shithousery that he does, getting under the defender's skin. He was the defender's worst nightmare. Not because he would score on you all the time, just the aggravating things he would do, pulling on your shirt, barking at your ear all game, and not afraid to give a challenge or two.
Yeah, definitely. Some notable stats. 95 Premier League appearances, 89 for Chelsea, only 6 for Wolves. But in the 6 that he had for Wolves, he did have 7 goals. Pretty strong. That's quite impressive as well. Especially because his Wolves stint was like a couple years ago. Like freaking tail end of his career. But definitely, for Chelsea, absolutely stellar. 16-17 season, wins the Golden Boot for Chelsea, and they win the league. And then also during his debut season, they also help him secure the league 14-15. A couple notable standouts for me, obviously, City fan. 4-0 Chelsea win. I don't know when the last time. That's probably the last time that happened, 2014. But he did have a hat trick against us. And yeah, I'll never forget. I think one of Wolves' matches was at Stamford Bridge that he played. He did come off as a sub, came off early as a sub, was substituted, took a walk the long way. Fans were cheering him on. Just a great send-off for him. That's definitely, 2 of my notable remembrances of him. But yeah, shoot, what's your most memorable moment of him?
Jeez, probably the game itself. I think it was when we beat Everton. I think it was like 6-2, 6-3. He was involved, and after he scored against Tim Howard, he was like right in his face. Like that's like the levels to this guy. Like he was just an ass to play against. but I love the guy.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, shoot, tons and tons of stuff about this guy. Was a demon. I mean, just look up a highlight reel, like we always say. Absolute demon. Him and Tim Howard definitely had their run-ins before. Um, I'd say legends, both of them, but definitely Diego Costa, absolute Chelsea legend. A football legend in general, and definitely worthy of the Barclays Man title.
Definitely.
Let us jump into our Premier League recap from the weekend. Couple really, really good games. Um, Obviously, we started off with West Ham versus Chelsea. Very unpredictable match, as we said. I mean, really didn't know what was going to happen. West Ham could have come out firing. Chelsea could have came out firing. Nico Jackson goes and nets two of the easiest goals you'll ever see. Cole Palmer with a nice one for sure, but definitely getting Nico Jackson going, definitely a key for Chelsea. And yeah, I mean, what more could you say about Chelsea? I mean, they have all the talent in the world, so you definitely expect it, but you never know.
I knew, buddy. I told you this
You
was gonna be a
didn't know.
cakewalk. But I knew it was gonna be a cakewalk.
You didn't know.
I'm pretty sure I predicted like a 3-1.
I think you said 3-1. Close enough.
But on me.
But once again, no Mikhailo Mudryk. Looks like Enzo is saying that it's just the way it is right now. He needs to be better. Basically, yeah. I mean, yeah, with the talent they brought in, I mean, absolutely. I definitely think he is the least talented of all of the wingers that they currently have at the moment. So definitely needs to work for it. Noni Madueke has been getting a lot of time on the pitch, which is absolutely brilliant because he's been so good lately. Um, I personally just don't like the Wesley Fofana. Very, very good player. But
Oh,
just,
he was getting cooked. I will admit he
yeah,
got cooked that game.
he's had a
Somerville
couple
was
good
cooking him.
games. Yeah. Dewsbury Hall still getting back into the squad. Nothing really there. He's been playing late minutes in just about every game of the season. I think he missed 2 games with the injury. Disasi got in again for Fofana, who was on the yellow. No Reece James. No Malagusto still. Looks like Reece James underwent some other setback once again. Who knows at this point? But definitely Pedro Neto, Christopher Nkunku gets a late super sub again. And then Joao Felix with another super sub. But definitely, I mean, Cole Palmer gets the goal, comes off. Nico Jackson gets the double, comes off. Just a lot of rotation in the squad. Good to see them playing well, but definitely scary because they have all the potential in the world.
Definitely. Yeah, when you can look at the subs coming on, when you're up that much, it's great to see. You know, the competition slowly gonna get there. Sancho's been playing well. Thank you, Man United. We fleeced you once again.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Definitely a different setup from West Ham this game. I think they were like in a weird 3-4-3 with Edson Alvarez on the back line. Was a little bit weird. Kind of shifted to like a 5 in the back at times. But definitely underwhelming performance from them once again. Haven't seen much from Lucas Paqueta all season. Haven't seen much from Jared Bowen yet this season. Same with Kudus, who were just unreal last season. And then Somerville's came on and played decently well so far. Still getting into the Premier League life a bit. But Chelsea still come away with the win, regardless of the less shots, on target, and West Ham, had a majority of the possession as well. Let's have a look at our next matchup, which was Aston Villa versus Wolves at home for Aston Villa. Another was a really, really good game. Wolves, I thought for a second were going to win it. I always say they're very, very tough. Was coming to the late stages, and they were up 1-0. Ollie Watkins got one right off the bat, and the 73rd minute from Morgan Rogers' assist. Guy's been absolutely carrying for the entire season. Ezri Konsa gets an absolute gift of a goal too. Unbelievable run on the back post. John Duran, nevertheless, you
Super
know it's
sub.
coming. Super sub, tail end of the game, last 20, 30 minutes of the game. He gets a 90+4 from another assist from Morgan Rogers. Yuri Telemans is the other one with the assist with Konsa. Absolute unreal ball to the back
Bro,
post in swinger. Brilliant from him. Yuri Telemans has definitely been slept on, one of the better Premier League midfielders this season.
insane, buddy. He's been insane.
Yeah, he's been so good. Fairly equal matchup on shots. Really like what I'm seeing. I've been saying really like what I'm seeing from Strand Larson lately. Matthias Cunha also has been playing a little bit of like a cam center forward role.
He had a good goal as well.
Yeah, his goal was really good for sure. But Strand Larson for me has been key to their goals. Wang Hee Chan has been very quiet, hasn't played too much, so definitely it's good to see someone else get them going. And then always Mario Lemina, always their captain. Absolute beast on and off the field. I just think he's so good right now. Craig Dawson, so good for me right now. That's a throwback Barclays man himself. Once we get into the Defender edition, of Barclays man, he will have to be in there. I mean, that is just you look at him, you're like, Barclays man. But yeah, easy work for Aston Villa at the end. John Duran still making a name for himself. Only question left is when will he start?
It's gonna be tough, buddy. Especially with Ollie
Yeah.
Watkins just constantly scoring or assisting. Yep.
Begging to
There.
see our next matchup was Fulham versus Newcastle. We were
Yeah.
really begging to see what would happen here.
Dude, this was one of my favorite games that I watched. This one was really good. Freaking
Yeah.
Fulham, just insane. The Dama Raul Jimenez connection at the beginning. Prime
Definitely.
Wolves.
Yeah, Prime Wolves throwback right there. A little Wolves shout to all the Wolves fans. Adama Traore has been unreal for
Yeah.
them so far this season. To think, he was on injury most of last season, but he did come back later stages, didn't really do much. But this season so far has been crucial. I think I've said him, Smith Rowe, and Iwobi have been almost on every single one of their goals. They did get two of them here. All four of those players, or all three of those players I named, were included in two of the goals here. You had the Traore assist to Raul Jimenez in the 5th minute, very good goal. Emil Smith Rowe and Alex Iwobi, two ex Arsenal men, linking up like it was the old days. I mean, I'm sure any Arsenal fan watching that match was like, "Wow, what could have been." But definitely, I mean, good. That was a really good team goal right there as well. And then Reece Nelson gets the easy chip in at the end with Rodrigo Muniz as Newcastle try to play out the back. Shouts to Harvey Barnes for Newcastle, who seems to be getting the job done, just about week after week now, coming in as a super sub most times, and comes in as a super sub this time and gets the goal again. Still no signs of Sandro Tonali in the starting lineup as of right now. They're kind of mixing it up with what they've been doing in the starting lineups, trying to find it, trying to tweak it. Joe Willox, obviously, he's been getting a lot more time. Sean Longstaff was in there for a bit. Jacob Murphy always gets in. They started Kieran Trippier again. He's been playing a lot more. Lewis Hall hasn't been playing as much as he was. And then Livermento, obviously one of the up-and-comers, looking to get there as well. And Lloyd Kelly, new addition to the lineup for Newcastle, has been starting for them just about every game. Definitely disappointing from Newcastle, though, I'd say.
Huge.
I mean, they're still missing some key pieces. Isak hasn't been the goal machine he is known to be. Anthony Gordon's been very, very quiet.
Quiet, yeah. Super.
Still missing Callum Wilson. Nothing much coming from the Newcastle end, really. Kind of flatlining at this point, but definitely what we were begging to see from Fulham to see if they can keep up top-notch form.
Yeah, but yeah, that was one of my favorite games from this weekend. Just crack every game.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at our next matchup, which was, like we said during the preview, a football heritage match of its own. Leicester versus Everton. Potential cracker, we said, was a really, really good game. I wouldn't say necessarily a huge cracker, but Leicester did control and dominate the field a lot more than I probably thought they would have. 58% possession, 12 shots, 2 on target only. Everton had the more shots on target with 5, but they dominated the play so often. I mean, should have definitely came away with more shots, only get the 1-1 draw. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, Jamie Vardy, I guess he can only do so much at his age at this point. De Cordova-Reid hasn't played in the last 2 or 3 matchups. Their key creator, Fatawu, has been coming in really, really late. Only got in the 90th minute this game. Oliver Skip goes without playing this match. Let's see. Yeah, that's it for Leicester. In terms of Everton, they get their full back line of Englishmen back. Michael Keane's still in there starting. I would say Calvert-Lewin has been very, very underwhelming. Would like to see Beto get in there on a start and see what he could do. Calvert-Lewin's usually a semi-decent goal scorer for Everton, but just nothing really happening right now for him at all.
No, nothing.
I mean, there's really, really nothing Everton are doing quite well. I felt like last season they were really good on set pieces. Amadou Onana was a really big part of that. Obviously, he's gone now, but definitely, I mean, just nothing jumps out to me for Everton for sure. I thought this was one Leicester for sure should have won.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But good for Everton to get their first point of the year.
Yeah, literally.
And the takeover has been complete as well.
Oh yeah.
Been keeping up. They've been bought out by Americans.
Yeah, more Americans will join. I mean, they're gonna need deep pockets next season for the championship in the new stadium. I mean, we'll see what happens there for sure. But new stadium coming to Everton, maybe they'll stay in the Prem, maybe not. But either way, let us have a look at the next matchup. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Slot ball returns against a Bournemouth side that has surprised us so far. However, this matchup was not the best. Liverpool absolutely dominated them. 58% possession, 13 shots on target out of 19. Just absolutely dominating the pitch. Luis Diaz, absolute beast. I mean, season in, season out, he's always scoring goals for Liverpool. Grabs 2, one from Konate, one from Trent, and then Darwin Núñez gets the start, which Chooch has been calling for a little while now. Gets the start, doesn't disappoint. Absolute banger versus Kepa. And Jota comes out for gets a rest for the whole match. Federico Chiesa still quite underwhelming right now. Hasn't really played too much, so we'll see what happens with him. But still, I mean, we know the guy's an absolute beast.
Yeah, definitely. Luis Diaz has been playing insane this year so far. 2 goals. Gravenberch as well. Dude's been balling out. I'll give him his credit. Are you muted? Yeah.
Yeah, this match 3-0 for the half was absolute banger by Darwin Núñez. Nothing in the second half, but definitely well deserved from Liverpool this time.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of expected it. Bournemouth got a goal, it got disallowed, and then ever since that, and after that, Liverpool just ran away with the game.
Yeah, Evan Nielsen, their new number 9, has I think he's tied for the most, or not tied, leading for the most missed chances on target. Just not really getting going. So we'll see what happens with him. Could just be a drought. I mean, he's had the chances for sure. They just need to put him away. I feel like it really fell on that penalty I think he had against Tottenham.
Chelsea.
Or was it Chelsea
Yeah.
that he missed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. So it was that. I feel like ever since then, I mean, just you miss pens, you're not feeling confident about anything at that point. But let's move on to our other football heritage match. I feel like Southampton versus Ipswich in a 1-1 draw, barely at the last minute. This match, I mean, Southampton showed up early, 5th minute. They dominated the possession, 53%. Not really dominated the shots. They only had 3 shots on target versus Ipswich is double that. But definitely, had controlled the possession, did what they could have. Ipswich were down, one of their best players so far, Calvin Phillips, out with the injury. But his partner in crime, Sam Morsi, the Egyptian, absolutely went out and balled. Man of the match performance. Goal to save him.
Lucky deflection.
Yeah,
Shot
lucky
outside
deflection. It was a banger off-site. Off seeing it right
offside.
off-site, I was like, "That's a freaking banger!" And then it was a freaking. I mean, deflection. Still a banger, but definitely, I mean, the deflection
outside the box, the volley, in the late in the game.
Yeah, right when they
Captain in
needed
your
it.
team.
Yeah, just the passion for sure. Liam Diop didn't play the whole game, but still, would like to see more from him. Love every time that guy scores. Haven't really seen too much from Amari Hutchinson in terms of goal scoring wise. Would like to see him more involved in pressing up the field for sure. I mean, that's definitely what Chelsea probably would have liked to see. Let's go back here. Yeah, 1-1 draw on that. Let's have a look at our next matchup. One of another probably really good game of the week, I'd say. One of the better ones, Tottenham versus Brentford. Bryan Mbeumo, absolute stellar in the first seconds of the game. I mean,
I think it was like 27 seconds.
Yeah.
They love
Honestly,
that.
could have been a banger of the week, I'd say. Was pretty close to the goal, but still potential for an honorable mention there. But then Dominic Solanke answers with a tap in off a rebound. Gets the ball rolling, though, for him, for sure. Brennan Johnson silences the haters. Yeah, he hit him with the quiet. I mean, tough for him. I mean, it wasn't that bad of a goal. It wasn't that good of a goal, but definitely still, any goal is good. Yeah, goal's a goal. Count it for him. Heung-min Son with the double and assist, and James Maddison gets the dot with the shirt. He took off the shirt and everything against Brentford. Looks like Wiss is going to be out a couple of months.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gutting for them. But yeah, I mean, just unreal. Good on Brennan Johnson too. I praise them. I was reluctant, to praise him again. Almost ready to join the haters, but
I did
man,
say he was ass. I will
yeah, you
admit,
did.
but proved me wrong. Back to back games with the goal. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Yeah.
Fluent.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens for sure with Tottenham, but I mean, we see they're scoring the goals. We know the rest of their team could do their job. We know they could become an elite unit. Just need those goals to fall. Mickey Van de Ven, Christian Romero, backline is unreal. Pedro Porro is always unreal. Has the ability to strike at any time. Bentancur has been a rock for them in the middle with Yzusuma out. He has returned, playing limited minutes right now, but I definitely expect him to be back in the lineup once he's fully fit and healthy. No Richarlison still going to be out for a little while. Timo Werner, no game time play this time around. Let's have a look. No Ben Me appearance on his birthday was disgusting for me. I couldn't believe it. On his birthday, no appearance. Disgusting. That irked me more than anything. Didn't think Fabio Carvalho played too bad. I thought it was one of his better games for sure. But definitely, I mean, could have been a lot worse for Tottenham. Definitely with the Brian Mbuemo scoring that early goal, but that's what they've been managing to do the last couple games. First, 5 minutes in the last 3 games, I think they've scored a goal. Let's turn it to one that could have been a banger of the week as well.
Thinker of the week.
But yeah, it turned out to be a stinker of the week. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United in a game Man United should have absolutely won. Had unbelievable amounts of chances. Unbelievable saves made by Andre Onana to
And
save them.
Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson was unreal.
Came away with the man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, this game really could have gone either way. Both teams caught lucky breaks. There was a couple times Dean Henderson, not necessarily caught out, but had some 1v1s that Garnacho just hit on the crossbar, and then I think Bernardo Silva a second later hit the same spot on the crossbar.
Yep.
It was quite unreal. Mateta came out at half, very early decision. We saw Eze almost come away with a good goal too. And Nketiah almost came away with a good goal. Just unreal back-to-back save by Andre Onana to save him. And then, look, that backline pairing of Guehi and Lacroix have been a little bit shaky so far, but I mean, that's still a great center back pairing. I think they typically transform to a 3 to 5 in the back. It just depends what's happening. But Man United really, really had the chances to win this one. They really, really did, and they missed out on it. Christian Eriksen did get the start. Casemiro unseen. Rasmus Højlund returns. Rashford dropped from the starting lineup. Garnacho ended up playing on that side. Diallo ended up playing on the other side. Anthony not seen. Mason Mount not seen. Harry Maguire not seen. I mean, get Harry Maguire out of that club. He needs a proper club. Send him to Everton. He will save them. I guarantee you that.
Disgusting.
You send Harry Maguire to Everton, they're set piece goats again.
Buddy.
But definitely. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Rashford thing. Week in, week out, there's something with this club. And freaking Ten Hag said that Marcus Rashford knows that he needs to live a lifestyle that's better. Blah blah blah. I mean, Christ's sake, just be a football manager, mate. worry about the team. Don't worry about your mates' freaking personal life at this point. I'm just tired of hearing the excuses. He makes the excuses for every player they comment, they like their social media. I get it. They represent the club, but at the same time, I mean, to punish all these players week after week, it was freaking Garnacho last week. It was Rashford this week. I mean, Anthony weeks back, Sancho. I mean, at what point, man? I think this guy's cooked. I think he really is cooked. I think he's building something because this was a really, really dominant performance by Man United, but it just really got overshadowed by their inability to win, first and foremost. Benching Marcus Rashford, and just, yeah, I mean, just the missed chances. The results at the end of the day is really all anyone looks at. Whether they dominated, that's a really good sign for them, but I mean, just awful results against a team that has been nowhere close to good this season. Like, nowhere close to good. I want to say Palace are almost in the dead last three. No, they're 16th. They got 3 points. I mean, come
basically
on.
there. Yeah, basically there.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, yeah, just absolutely unreal. And all 3 points came from a draw. Just unacceptable for Man United. But stay down in the dumps as long as they need. I'll tell you that. Well, what?
Don't. There was also the Chicago Fan Fest this past weekend. It was a huge turnout. You know, fans of all different teams there to watch Premier League games. It was great to see, especially us living here in America. Don't have all the access to go watch the game, but a huge group of people getting together to to watch the games here was insane. A lot of former players out there. I know Gary Cahill was out there when the Chelsea game was on, chatting with some of the fans. It was good to see.
Patrick Vieira was out there on Sunday. Some good banter between him and Roy Keane on that broadcast. But yeah, definitely. I mean, always good to see fans turning up in America. There's quite a bit more than you think, especially in the bigger cities. I think like you could look up on Premier League's website. You could go and look up anywhere in America, whatever team you support, or not even necessarily whatever team you support. I think they have like a map thing where you could type in your city. It'll show you how many official fan clubs there are in your city. I think in Fresno, there's a couple notable ones. I know we have a West Ham supporters. We have Fresno Citizens for Man City, Fresno Reds for Liverpool, Chelsea Blues,
Central Valley Blues.
Central Valley Blues. I'm trying to think of who else. What other squad they got?
The United one has a good following.
Yeah, I can't even think of what they call themselves though.
Obviously, Arsenal as well have their own, but no one cares about Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal have a little bit of a smaller one. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, really good for them. They were out there Saturday and Sunday for both games, so that was really good. Definitely a lot more Arsenal City fans on the Sunday that they had. But that wraps up our Saturday games. We'll have a look into our Sunday games, which are 2 really good games. Brighton, Nottingham Forest, 2 undefeated teams.
Cracker of a game, I would say.
Cracker of a game for sure. I mean, Brighton back-to-back, right at the half. Chris Wood gets a pen in the beginning. You know Chris Wood putting it in the back of the net. Yeah. Surprised he took it, actually, though, myself. Gibbs White, I think, is their usual penalty taker, who actually got himself a red card as well during this matchup. But definitely, I mean, who would have thought Nottingham Forest would be one of the few undefeated teams left? They saved themselves with the 70th minute goal down 2-1. This is a Brighton at-home game. Not too much from their stars this match. Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White obviously gone for the next match as well. Alanga, but yeah, I mean, they've kind of just built something a little bit better than what they had. We know they've had the attack, hadn't really had the midfield too much, hadn't really had the defense too much, but they went out and got some good defensive players. Alex Moreno has been really, really good for them in defense. They tightened up the midfield with James Ward-Prowse. Yeah, I mean, they've had some good defenders in the past, just hasn't really worked out. But now it seems to be working out pretty well. And we'll see what they could put together for sure. It looks pretty dang interesting from them. Moving over to Brighton, João Pedro coming on as a super sub. Evan Ferguson getting some time, finally.
About time.
Yeah, but Danny Welbeck has been the not the captain, but he's been just the rock for this team. Lewis Dunk's been the captain, but definitely Danny Welbeck. I mean, the vet guy can score the goals. We know he can. Matoma's been very, very quiet this season, not really doing too much. Estupania has been very quiet too. Hasn't started every game. But Brighton, I mean, they built something pretty good. Obviously, they got the results. They've been getting the results. But definitely one I felt they should have won from Forest. But I mean, Forest being the surpriser of the season so far is quite unreal. I want to see it. Let me see. They sit in 8th. Pretty nuts. No defeats. Brighton in 7th. Let's have a look here at the on paper match of the week.
Nil.
Manchester City versus Arsenal. The draws are impeccable.
0-0.
Starts off with a really good goal from Erling Haaland off of an unreal Savinho touch from the wing. Absolutely dunks on their heads first few minutes. Calafiori's banger equalizes it. John Stones get the last minute winner after Gabriel's corner. And I mean, we just come out of it, but dear Lord, I mean, that first half starts off. Kai Havertz absolutely forearm to the throat of Rodri. Game's already,
Lost.
It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry, between a team that's never won much and not necessarily a team that's never won much, but a team that hasn't won much recently. And obviously Man City 4 in a row. But I mean, we've always said it. We've been saying it. The team's been saying it. Everyone's been saying it. It looks like it genuinely looks like Arsenal played to draw. Like genuinely, every time they play us, I never see them with the killer mentality to go and try to put one away. So it starts off, sparks get flying. Mike Oliver's lost the match in the first 90 seconds. Very well could have been a red for Kai Havertz. Apparently, there was no camera angle that could really zoom in. They never showed us up close. But I mean, from the far angle, very much looks like he throws his forearm right into Rodri's neck. I want to say 10 minutes later. Let's see when he gets subbed off. Let's see. Okay, 20 minutes later. Thomas Partey shoves Rodri in the box. Doesn't draw a pen, but ACL's gone. Rodri's ACL officially torn. Looking for a second opinion in Barca, but definitely, I mean, it looks like it's done. That'll be about 9-month recovery time. Really just Michael Oliver lost the game. Has already lost the game at that point. You didn't see, I think Ederson was the first one to get a card in the 21st minute. There could have been probably 3 or 4 yellow cards in that time. But I mean, it was off a delayed restart that was probably about 15 meters from the original foul. Kyle Walker wasn't even allowed to get back into position. Goes to Martinelli, goes to Calafiori, banger. That's the goal. Then you have Leandro Trossard gets a quick yellow. You have the goal from Gabriel next, which again, I mean, we've seen that. I mean, we've seen
the screenplay.
it's just I don't understand it because I mean we've seen that goal disallowed a million times. When any on play or field infield player touches a goalkeeper in the box and prevents them from getting to where the ball's going, it's a foul. Like we've seen it a million times in the past couple of seasons. Just somehow it manages to not be this time. But you know what? It is what it is. Fine, sure. Got the goal. Okay. But the absolute disgust, getting the red card from Lissandro Trossard, and I mean just the haram ball that Mikel Arteta has the audacity to throw out there. 10 men in the box defending for 45 minutes, time wasting like you've never seen in your life.
Oh, buddy.
I think someone was complaining about the extended time that the first half I think was +9 or +8. The second half was like +8, +9, and someone did like how much time it took David Raya to kick goal kicks, and it was like 9 minutes total. So I mean, alone, Arteta was complaining about that right after the match. Where do they keep extending these minutes from? Blah blah blah. As soon as they put up +8 minutes or +9 minutes, I think Jurrien Timber fell to the ground after a really already delayed start. Falls to the ground, gets subbed off. I mean, just absolutely disgust from them. They get what they deserve at the end of it. I mean, we should have put two past them in the second half, but really, really tough. I was getting annoyed just watching, honestly. Like, you pass left, pass
Harambo.
middle, pass right, pass left, pass middle, pass right. There was just truly no way around or through 10 guys standing in the box.
The shuffle. Ball goes
Yeah,
up. They shuffle
literally,
with the ball. Oh,
literally.
we're gonna freaking switch it. Everyone shuffle.
Yeah, honestly, just and even when you saw, even when Arsenal had a chance to run up the field, I guess it looked like they were almost instructed to just kick it and come right back. Like, just kick the ball out there, come back to your box. Because they had chances to make deep runs. Martinelli had a couple chances to make a deep run. Gabriel Jesus was absolutely clamping, had a couple chances to just run it up the sideline. Didn't, just absolutely blasted it, and then came back. I mean, that's the part I'm talking about. Like, you know, in any matchup, in any rivalry, especially of some sorts that Arsenal fans call it, you want to take them out. I mean, especially when you're up, especially when you got 10 men. If you could grab a goal, that's just the ultimate disrespect. I mean, that's just the ultimate dominance. And yeah, I mean, they just absolute haram ball from them. Was a really good first half, spoiled by that. Doku didn't have the best game. Savino had a really good, first half. Phil Foden looks like he's going to have to be starting a little more just off of what they started today, or I'm sorry, this matchup. Kind of missing him in the middle, especially because they like to crowd the middle. Didn't really have anyone in the middle that was able to get in there and make something happen or cause any disruptions. Okay, Gundogan had a couple chances that just really folded. Bernardo
Carvajal had a lot
Silva,
of chances, shot after shot.
yeah,
He's done them. He's made them before.
yeah,
There's
he
kind of
has,
like a spray and pray type of vibe with him.
yeah. Um, shoot, Ruben Diaz took a couple shots. Freaking Kyle Walker took a couple shots. But definitely, I mean, the biggest question here, I'd say, is like, Kovacic is gonna have. I mean, he's gonna have to be our dog. I mean,
He started off
I,
the season well, I'd say.
yeah, he did, but I don't know, man. It's just gonna be tough. There's no backup for him. I mean, you could say John Stones would be the next man up for that. He's done it before, but John Stones has very injury prone. I really just don't know what happens from here. I mean, Ilkay Gundogan could do any position, I think. But then who takes the spot that you're going to be starting him at because De Bruyne is out? You know,
Folded.
Foden could come in as well, but then I mean, it's just anything. Then you're lackluster and a little bit more defending. You know, maybe Gundogan's going to be practicing that CDM spot. I'm sure him, Johnny Stones, and Kovacic would be the next three guys up there. But that really was, I mean, one of the biggest thing getting Gundogan back. We know the guy could play false nine. We know he could play CDM. We know he could play cam. You know, he could play just about anywhere. But Arsenal, I mean, still without Odegaard. Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, only two players I think ever
0.
in the history of the Premier League to have 0 passes in a game. 0.
Criminal.
90
And
minutes of cardio.
0 passes completed. He has the most duels lost. He lost the ball the most, which I think was 10 times. Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. But yeah. Lots of drama at the end. Haaland absolutely obliterated Thomas Partey. Then he told Arteta to stay humble. After the goal, he throws the ball at the back of Gabriel's head. Some definite shithousery from him. Love
No
to
room
see
for
it. I
that.
mean,
No room for that in this game, mate.
oh, stop.
No room for that.
Stop.
If they don't find him, rigged.
No, they didn't. They already said there will be no consequences. Regardless,
Rich get richer.
if you score, I mean, if this guy's scoring 1,000,000 goals a season, if you can't act like that every once in a while, I mean, yeah, what's the point? What's the point if you can't act like that? He had a humble Arteta, and then, oh man, he almost bodied Gabriel Jesus. Ben White comes in at the very last second, like he's the biggest guy you ever seen, and then yeah, it's too late at that point, buddy. Something about Ben White, I don't know. Didn't seem to be fit allegedly, but crazy. It's got that fake tan going on. But anyway, that was our week. I mean, definitely a unreal weekend, I'd say for sure.
Great games.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna be back next week. Well, at the end of this week for some good games as well. Couple really good games, I think. Chelsea Brighton. I mean, that's really one that's gonna be like an absolute cracker. You're thinking United, Tottenham, bangers. Forest, Fulham. Oh, you know, a couple really good ones. Man City one is really early. I'm not going to be ready for it. 4:30 a.m. at Newcastle. Yeah.
Gotta wake up.
But we'll get back to those at the start of the week or at the end of the week. And yeah, we'll have a preview. Champions League a few weeks away. I think 2 weeks away or a week away from now. We'll have some more Champions League. Oh, and then the Carabao Cup. Take a quick look at those. Haaland will miss that game for sure. Had a death in the family, well, in the close family or close friends that he'll miss for. So Man City versus Watford tomorrow. Probably see maybe Gundogan up top. Really don't know. Expecting some James McAtee in there, some Matthias Nunes. Not Carabao Cup. I mean that belongs to Liverpool. Let them have it. Yeah, we have Leicester Walsall. Could be a really good one. You know, never know with those lower teams, but I would expect Leicester to dominate for sure. You got Newcastle, Wimbledon. Actually, that was postponed. Chelsea, Barrow FC. Chelsea should absolutely batter them. You would think.
Hopefully we see a good.
You would think, but watch them
rotation.
Lose. Watch them lose.
Ben Chilwell's expected to be in the team. Maresca said.
Absolute shocker, but makes sense. But makes sense because of the injuries right now. I love Ben Chilwell. Honestly, that dude is baller. But yeah, that's a Chelsea home game, I believe. You have Aston Villa, Wycombe. I don't know how you say it.
Wycombe.
Should be I mean, it could be another tough one for Aston Villa. Short weeks, a lot of short weeks coming up. And then you have Arsenal, Bolton on Wednesday, and probably the match of the week for Carabao Cup. You'd be looking at West Ham, Liverpool, which would be a really good one. And the Carabao Cup was pushed. Newcastle's match was pushed to next week. We probably won't cover that one. I mean, it's middle of Champions League, so it's not like Newcastle have anything to do that Tuesday anyway. But yeah, I mean, will be a good one for sure. We saw some good ones a couple of weeks back. I think the one that's last week. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, last week. This one,
Yeah, it was
Brendan
last
Johnson
week.
scored.
Yeah, saw a couple good ones last week. Man United got a bashing. Probably what I expect from Chelsea this week. But we'll see. A lot of postponed games last week. Let's move over to our final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Cheech, on this week?
How are you, Blues? We're in top 5 right now. Let's keep it going.
Top 5 is crazy.
The push for the title starts now.
No, not happening. Not happening. It's honestly not that far off, but still, I don't think it's happening. But yeah, let's take a look at the table real quick. Man City up top, 13, 8-goal differential. Liverpool, 12 points. Aston Villa, 12 points. Arsenal with 11, only one above Chelsea in 5th. You have Chelsea really going to be looking to contend for a Champions League spot for sure. Newcastle, 10 points with Chelsea, will also be looking for that Champions League spot. Brighton at 9, tied with Nottingham Forest, just a better goal differential. Fulham at 9th, not necessarily better than they should be, but, I mean, I think they finished 12th last season, so not too far off where they about are. Tottenham and Man United, both 10th and 11th, only 7 points. You got Brentford there with 6, Bournemouth 5, West Ham only 4, Leicester with 3, Palace with 3, Ipswich with 3. I mean, to think that Ipswich is 1 point below West Ham is pretty nuts.
Crazy.
Another shocker for sure, though, would be Wolves and Everton in that relegation zone with 1 point apiece. Southampton, not a shocker that they're down there, but Everton and Wolves, I mean, Wolves have absolutely obliterated some of the opponents they played for 45 minutes. They look like they could beat some real top tier teams and then just absolutely collapse. Not Everton collapse, but still collapse. But I mean, they're basically below. They got the same goal differential. I think it would come down to like goals for or goals against. I don't know. They have the literal exact same. So 19th and 20th, but you wouldn't think Wolves are doing that bad, but they are. But they're not. I mean, they're just not playing like that though. At least for 45 minutes. And we'll take a look at the Golden Boot race. I mean, 10 goals, Erling Haaland. Is that mental or what?
Disgusting.
Absolutely mental.
Mm-hmm.
You got Nico Jackson and freaking Noni Madueke both in there, both in the top 10. John Duran at 3. Luis Diaz at 5. Harvey Barnes at 3. And Buemo at 4. Freaking Danny Welbeck turning back the time. I mean, just quite unreal. Saka with 5 assists. Cole Palmer 4. Mo Salah 4. Wilfred Ndidi 3. Nico Jackson's up there. Yeah, I mean, definitely just some unreal ones for sure. Some unreal names on there. You got David Raya, Andre Onana, and Alisson Becker. All 3 clean sheets so far. Matt Sells is up there too for Forest. Quite unreal. But definitely, I mean, Golden Boot race looks like it's going to Erling Haaland once again. Can't imagine anyone catching them. No, I mean, no, it's no way.
We're gonna make a push.
You just gotta no, because I mean, think about it. Like once we start playing these clubs again, that are the Ipswiches, the freaking Southamptons, the Wolves, the Bournemouths. I mean that's when he goes absolutely nuts. We've got some tough matchups coming up though. I think Chelsea have some. I wouldn't say necessarily tough, but they have some couple of tough ones. They got Man United, Liverpool, Forest.
Ooh.
Oh, Arsenal. Oh, you guys do have a really tough schedule coming up. So your next one is Forest. Oh, no.
Brighton.
Your next one's Brighton. Then you have Forest, undefeated. Then you have Liverpool, undefeated. Oh, no, not undefeated. Then you have Newcastle.
Sucks.
Nah, just wait. Then you have United.
Sucks.
And then you have Arsenal.
Even worse.
And then Leicester. So, I mean, 3 out of 5 of those matchups could be devastating.
All I see is 5 wins out of 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we'll see. We got a tough matchup, though. That's all I know. A couple tough ones. But we'll find out. We'll see what happens. We will be there. We're always there.
Always.
Yeah. So that's all I got for this episode. Any final words?
That's it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Check us out. YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, all the above.
Yeah, man.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. That's crazy. No, yeah, but thank you guys for watching. You guys were finally, once again, kicking it with Gab
And Cheech.
and Chooch.